Welcome to New Stripe City, a YouTube channel for die-hard Bengals fans. I'm your host, Ace Boogie, and welcome to the new viewers and the returning die-hard subs to the channel. We do weekly interviews here and provide analysis on the latest Bengals breaking news. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. And if you want to know how to subscribe, there's a button below this video. And we also provide a link in the video description. So if you're looking for that, it should be there. New Stripe City is proud to announce that our channel has partnered with Fanatics, an NFL licensed merchandiser for NFL.com and Bengals.com as well. Through Fanatics, you can buy men's and women's and kids' Bengals apparel and jerseys, and also help grow our channel through using the links in our video description. When you do that, it truly helps grow the channel, and we did this because it allows Bengals fans to not only enjoy our content, but also get top-tier authentic Bengals merchandise. So if you're looking to get a new Burrow or T. Higgins jersey or even a fresh hoodie or a hat, click on the link in our description. And when you do that, it helps support the channel. Welcome to the channel. Just wanted to let you guys know that we're doing an Xbox Series S giveaway. That's correct, an Xbox Series S giveaway to one lucky member on this channel. I'm going to go through the details, but please be sure to tune in. So the first thing you have to do is join the NSC Flick app, then subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and then also retweet and like this pinned tweet that I have. And once you finish that, you're going to open the Flick chat and just comment on any chat the word Xbox. And once we get to 8,000 subscribers on YouTube and 500 people on Flick, a winner will be announced. And just so y'all know, this is no cap at all. So it's a Series S. They put X, but if you look right there, it's a Series S. So we also have a partnership going on with Flick right now. You can download it from your store. You join it. It's actually really dope. What it is essentially a sports group chat that allows us to run polls. I'll be doing and going live for games in it. This will also be a platform where you can ask me questions directly and get access to exclusive content. I did an interview with EDP. I did not upload it to my channel, but it is in the Flick chat. So you'll get access to stuff like that. You'll be able to ask me questions. You'll be able to provide insight for videos and stuff like that in the future. So this is for all of the people that make up this community that really just want to come together and have kind of a comment section in the actual app. It's pretty dope. You can also access all of our podcasts from the app as well. So it's very cool. And then there's breaking news and all kind of other cool features. It's really dope. Be sure to join the NSC Flick. The link is in the description. Who Dey Nation, welcome to New Stripe City, a YouTube channel for diehard Bengals fans. I'm your host, Ace Boogie. This is a special guest. You guys don't know him, but this is my boy. Like, we went to school together. We've known each other for over a decade, actually more than a decade, 15 years, really, for a while. And boy, we had some rough years between my Bengals and his Jaguars. We had some ups and downs. It's been a roller coaster. But ladies and gentlemen, please say hello to my friend Trey. Trey, what's going on, bro?
What's going on, Ace Boogie, man? It's nice to be here and and answer some questions here for you and talk to you Bengals fans. But yes, you've been definitely right though. We definitely have had some rough years between both of our teams.
Right. So one thing that I want to get into first is I tell everybody on this channel in 2011 that when we drafted AJ Green, I jumped off of the couch. We actually lived together at that time. So like some people are like, nah, you didn't do that. Like you just saying that now. Bro, please co-sign the people. Tell them what happened, what I did as soon as we drafted AJ Green.
I want to say that's the same draft with Blaine Gabbert, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes. That's what we talked about that before.
So we had a long conversation about it. And everybody was saying that y'all going to get Blaine Gabbert. You were like, no, I don't want Blaine Gabbert. I want AJ Green. And so I was like, I was like, well, I didn't think we were going to get him. Here we go. But they said that y'all going to get him. Y'all ended up getting AJ Green. And I promise you thought that you won the Super Bowl off of that one. But yeah, you were spazzing. I want to say that the couch pillows will start going flying and everything.
Yeah, bro, it was crazy. I don't know what came over me. Shout out to Delta Kilo in the chat, cuz Staffa, appreciate that for the $4.99. But let's talk about, we've had our conversations offline and stuff. We always talk about the Jags in our group chat and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I always love the perspective that you give because you played quarterback in high school. You've been a diehard Jags fan for as long as I've known you. You know, especially with y'all going all the way back from the Mark Brunell years to MJD to now. What are your thoughts right now on everything that's going on in Jacksonville, being with the Jalen Ramsey stuff and everything that's going on? Because you went from essentially going way farther than the Bengals have been in 20 or 30 years, a few years ago, thinking that we thought the Jags were going to go to a Super Bowl, to it just really getting blown up. So give people like an insight from, I guess, the last 3 or 4 years of what's been going on with the Jaguars.
Well, just, in my opinion, I feel like 2017 might have been the best but worst thing that ever happened to our franchise. We had a lot of young guys with the fire and the chip on their shoulder and stuff like that. But I think we let that chip ride a little bit too far into the next season.
Right.
So, everybody kind of went into the next season with the big head. We had the injuries and, we just couldn't bounce back mentally from, being a great team with all these expectations to now being back at the bottom. And then, a lot of egos and stuff like that were built off of that season. So it just kind of turned, just from the outside looking in, I don't know about the locker room itself, but it just kind of looked like the locker room was just kind of in shambles. From what I've heard is, finger pointing and stuff like that. So I guess they wanted to kind of revamp everything, move everybody out. Personally, I thought that we were tanking this season. I thought it was over. I thought we were going 1-15. But it looks like right now that the young core that we have, they really, they're trying to prove the narrative wrong. So right now I think that we're in that middle part of the season right now. We can either say we need to go ahead and blow it all the way up and tank it, or if we get a couple more wins up under our belt, we can go ahead and try to push to try to maybe be a playoff team. Who knows?
Nah, all good. You were cutting in and out there. So it seems like you said that it's either tank it or, try to be somewhat competitive for this season. And I mean, that makes sense. I think like when everybody looks at it, and I know like you saw what I went through last year with the Bengals, and you saw that we were heading towards the Joe Burrow train, and you're an avid watcher of college football. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I don't watch college football as much as this guy. He's definitely on it. When I do watch, I watched Ohio State, and that's probably twice a year. Like back in the day, I used to be into it, but this year I'm not really into it. So I leaned on you a lot, especially with you being a UF fan, a Florida fan, on what Joe Burrow was, because for me, the first game that I actually watched Joe Burrow myself was against Alabama and Tua and all of that. So I remember when I reached out to you, you were like, "Nah, this dude is the real deal." So with you all being in a similar situation, I think, like you said, you have a young core that's good. When you talk about James Robinson, Chart, Minshew, even to an extent, and some of those pieces on defense that you have with Miles Jack, do you think that this team should just straight up tank for Trevor Lawrence? Is he that good? Do you see it playing out that way, or how do you see that? Do you like Justin Fields, or what's the options there for you in terms of Jacksonville?
Well, right now, I think right now we need to give Minshew a little bit more time to see if we can work out some of the kinks, some of those young quarterback mistakes that he makes.
Right.
That's one thing I want to see if he can clean that up by week 17. But if not, Trevor Lawrence looks like a guy, like the guy, really. He has the speed, he has the accuracy, and he's played in big games. So, I like all of that there. So, and he's done it for a longer time than what Joe Burrow did. So, right now, that's why I kind of like put him as a better prospect than Joe. But hey, Joe was slinging the tater.
Right. Facts. So, if we're going from that aspect, you went from being kind of the identity of a defensive team surrounded by Jalen Ramsey and all of that to an offensive team. Do you think that with that perspective, with you living through that kind of defensive thing where you guys were arguably the best defensive in the NFL, to getting it as far as, the AFC Championship, where thank God, I'm so glad that y'all whipped up on the Steelers. Y'all did something that we could never do in recent history when it came to that. So I definitely enjoyed that. But how do you think this will go with shifting towards the offensive side of the ball? You think that that's the right direction for y'all, or are those problems on defense still going to try to hold you guys back?
Well, personally, it's 2020, so at this point in time, I feel like offenses win championships. It sounds kind of ridiculous to say that, but if you look at what the Chiefs did last year, or the teams that are like usually at the top, their offenses are things that can carry them, or that they can depend on to kind of squeeze out those close games. So that's one thing I can say. Like when we had the great defense, I mean, we didn't know what we were going to get out of our offense. So with that being something that just so up in the air, not really knowing, I feel like you really need to have a great offense to be able to put points up on the board, regardless of if the defense can stop somebody or not.
Nah, that's facts. That's facts. So I always bring people in. I like to get the outside perspective of what people thought about the Bengals. Like you've watched from afar what we've done. And in your opinion, like with Andy Dalton and things that we've had, what has been your opinion of the Cincinnati Bengals from your perspective?
Well, right now I just kind of feel like you guys are kind of going in the right direction. You have Joe Burrow, which I really like that guy. Joe Mixon, I like Joe Mixon. He's really good. He's versatile. I just wish you guys would have a better line for him. He's on my fantasy squad too, so I got faith in him. And I like AJ. AJ,
Right.
AJ's my guy. He's on my fantasy squad too.
Right.
But I mean, I think you guys have a really good young core. I think if you guys could fix up that line, you guys would be really good, because I know that you guys have the Carlos Dunlap. What's the D tackle name?
Geno Atkins as well.
Geno Atkins. Geno Atkins. I know you guys have some young guys in the secondary. So you guys have the pieces. It's just, I think if you fix that offensive line, I think it would be pretty good there. So I did not like Andy Dalton at all.
Thank you. So from the Jaguars perspective, obviously you follow your team. You know this team in the ins and the outs. Break down, key players for your team, like players that people are kind of sleep on that the media may not talk about, or certain things about the Jaguars that will kind of stick out in this game.
Right. Well, the one thing I can say is, I mean, I know the media has kind of talked about James Robinson, but he's really, really good. I mean, you're not going to see any blazing speed out of him or anything like that, but you'll just see a really good, consistent runner. He has really good vision. Another thing, people don't talk about it much, but O'Shaughnessy, our tight end, a lot of times when Minshew kind of looks for that, that one guy to outlet or something like that, you get him 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 yards or something like that. O'Shaughnessy is one of those, dependable guys for him. And hey, Tyler Eifert.
Yes, sir. That's my guy. Boy. As soon as he went, I wasn't even mad that he left us and ended up in Jacksonville. I was glad that he ended up there because you already know how I felt about him. We talked several times, and I feel like you guys definitely have one in him for sure. So I was glad that he definitely went to the Jags. Talk about, I guess, the secondary, because I had another Jaguars YouTuber on here that kind of talked about the defensive struggles for you guys. I know that that's something that you also keep your eye on. What are your thoughts of the Jacksonville defense? Because they've had games where they've been somewhat solid, and then you had the Thursday night game. To me, that was an outlier. But what are your thoughts on the Jaguars defense this season?
Man, Swiss cheese. We haven't been able to stop anything, man. It's crazy. I mean, we go back to the first game of the season. The Colts, they went for it on fourth down inside the 5-yard line, I want to say. I mean, they should have took the 3 points. That ended up being cost them the game.
Right.
But I mean, without them doing that, we really might have lost that game. So if we can get to a point where we can stop people, you watched the game on Thursday. Ryan Fitzpatrick looked like Cam Newton, Ryan Fitzpatrick. So if we could find a way to get some people to kind of, make their tackles, do their assignments, get some pressure on the quarterback. That's one thing that we've been losing there. We named ourselves Saxonville. We need to get back to that. And when we only have 2 or 3 sacks this season. So hopefully we can get some pressure on the quarterback, and keep them from throwing the ball. I mean, it's been like quarterbacks have had their way with our secondary.
I think that you made a great point there, and it's funny that you said that you guys have trouble having or getting sacks, and the Bengals they're just great at giving up sacks. So I think that will be possibly a true benchmark of whether or not you guys have no pass rush. Because I mean, if you line some guys up around our guys, they're gonna get through. That's one thing that I will say, especially hearing earlier today that it's looking like Alex Redmond, Bengals fans. Yes, Alex Redmond may be starting at right guard. So, yeah, there's that. But you talked about some of the edge rushers, right? You got Josh Allen. That was a guy that a lot of Bengals fans were interested in last season. You also have, I believe, Chason from LSU, right?
Yep.
Chason. What are your thoughts on them? Obviously, you guys only have 2 sacks, like you said, but have they shown flashes that these guys can be, guys for you this season to be able to rush the passer, or are they more so developmental guys that have to kind of get that part of it down?
Well, I like what Josh Allen has been able to do. He's consistent with trying to get to the quarterback, and he's been getting pressure. He really hasn't been able to get. I mean, he got that 1 sack against Ryan Fitzpatrick, but it was kind of like Ryan Fitzpatrick gave him that one. But other than that, I mean, he's been trying to get there. He's like maybe 1 step off. Quarterbacks are killing us on quick passes because of our soft zone. So, I mean, with the quick pass, it's kind of hard for us to get there. But at the same time, I feel like Chason has to kind of be able to grow a little bit more into his role, try to figure out like what works best for him. I know that at LSU, he stood up a little bit more than what he's expected to do now. So now he has his hand in the dirt and is just trying to figure out, what makes it more comfortable for him to get off this side of get off the ball and get to that quarterback. So that's one thing I'm kind of keeping my eye on.
Okay. So getting into the game, like what are your thoughts for the game this season? How do you see this game kind of playing out, or what's your keys to victory for this game, the matchup between the Bengals and the Jags?
Well, right now, for the keys to victory for the Jags, I could say first things first is you have to make Joe Burrow look like a rookie quarterback. So if we can get some pressure on the quarterback against an offensive line that's been a little bit shaky, no offense, I'm sorry.
No, you
good. But against a
shaky is being shaky. Nice, honestly.
Yeah, we could get some quarterback pressure on him and stuff like that, make him a little bit uncomfortable back there. That'll be good for us. And I mean, keep Joe Mixon at bay and make sure he doesn't really do much. And then for the offense is just to make sure that we can get that passing game going. Because without that passing game, the running game can't go anywhere. Which it kind of sounds backwards, but at this time, I mean, you already know the one sure thing is that if you get James Robinson the ball enough, he's going to be able to get plays, and the defense knows that.
Yeah, shout out to James Robinson on that prop last week. He definitely, him and Gardner Minshew, shout out to both of them. They definitely came through for your boy. So one thing that I know that from talking to you about, like a lot of people are all talking about, the players in Jacksonville. No one really talks about like the coaching, ownership, GMs and stuff. I know you've kind of voiced your frustrations about the GM. So let the people know from that perspective how you feel and things that have gone on from that aspect.
All right. Well, one thing I want to do, I'm gonna just kind of work my way up. So, for the one thing that really kind of irks my nerves a little bit is the defensive coordinator. He runs the softest zone, so he just continues to run the same zone, and it allows quarterbacks to just pick us apart down the field. So that's one thing that kind of bothers me. I don't understand why we haven't made that change. Todd Walsh has been there for quite some time, and it's the same thing. Doug Marrone is a little bit. He's too cautious for me at times. He likes to play it safe, so that's one thing that kind of bothers me. I think, playing it safe lost us that AFC Championship game.
All right.
Outside of, Miles Jack not being down. But, him playing it safe is something that really, lost us that game. And it's kind of been something that we continue to see it over and over and over again. And then, man, that daggone GM, Dave Caldwell. I mean, to have so many first round picks, so much great talent, just walk out of the door. Some of the talent you don't get anything back for. Some people you reach on and they don't pan out. And then, I mean, the only first round pick that we have on our team besides Josh Allen and the ones that we just got is Taven Bryan. And to be honest with you, he hasn't lived up to the hype. So it's like, I don't understand how he still has his job. I mean, he drafted Blake Bortles, kept him there for far, far, far too long, and then gave him an extension, which is ridiculous. And then that same year that you give him an extension, he can't even finish the season, not because he's hurt, it's because of his play. Right. And then you have the real talent like the Jalen Ramseys, the Yannick Ngakwe's, all the real talent that's here. They see you give the guy that's pretty much kind of holding the team back the most, actually, you give him the $20 million extension, but you don't want to give them the money. That's the real talent. Right. So, I mean, this is what the general manager does. Now, I can't say I'm not the one making the big bucks to be able to, make these decisions. However, we can all see, everybody can see that none of the decisions that he's made, and since he's had his job, really has benefited us for, been able to sustain success, should I say.
Nah, that's real. That's real. Yeah, I know we've talked several times about that, man. I even think back to when we were at, I think, Javen's apartment, we were watching the draft, and it was like, it might not have been him, but that Tyson Alualu pick, we both were just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
What is going on? Boy. But I will say sometimes I do catch myself watching, who you guys are going to pick, because obviously me and you being friends, I want your team to do well. And it seems like all the time it's like, damn, Jazz just took somebody that I wanted. And I think the last time it was Cam Robinson, bro. I'm still sick about Cam Robinson right now. I'm still sick about Cam Robinson. Obviously, with our line in the shape that it is now. But hopefully, do you think this is the GM's last season? Like, is it going to be him that's going to be able to rebuild this team? Or if Jacksonville, doesn't do well, is he going to be the guy that you guys move on from?
Well, it's weird because he's making moves like regardless of whatever happens next year, which is kind of scary. Right. I want to say that most of the reason for me wanting to tank is we have to get him out of his seat. Like, we have to get him out of his seat. And if we have another great season, that one lightning in the bottle season, that gives him another 3 or 4 years to kind of, screw it all up again.
Right. So that sounds like Marvin Lewis. That sounds like the GM version of Marvin Lewis.
Right. Exactly. So it's like you don't want your team. I mean, you never want your team to do bad. I really love Gardner Minshew. He has that chip on the shoulder. He never gives up. He's always fighting. But it's like, man, Dave Caldwell has to go, and I don't want him to, be able to say like, well, look what I did, or something like that, to be able to hold his job for another 3 or 4 years or however long.
So it seems like we have
that's the main reason why I want to take it. Just need to move from him.
Gotcha. So it seems like we have a Bears fan in the chat. And I think that Gardner Minshew is better than Mitch Trubisky. But let's talk about Nick Foles, right? You guys traded Nick Foles to Chicago. Tell this Bears fan about Nick Foles.
Man, I mean, honest to God truth, he really didn't get that great of a shape just because of how Minshew did when he came in his absence. But he lost he lost our locker room. He lost our fans just because at the time when we were in an emergency situation. We needed to win some games. We had lost like maybe 2 games back to back, and it was his first game back. And the only thing he wanted to talk about was patience. Right. It's not a time to, not a time to be, not it's no emergency and stuff like that. So, us as fans, we weren't really feeling that.
Right.
Hey, we need to get after it. We need to get W's. We're tired of losing. I don't understand. Nick, have you seen us play in the last 10 years? Like we haven't won nothing. This is an emergency situation. So
right.
we wasn't really feeling that. But I mean, he's always going to be a good dude. I think he just kind of plays better off of the bench. If you got to get him in there after a couple games, then maybe that might just be better for him.
Right. Sounds good. But shout out to Preem Pluto.
I mean, I can't really say much about it.
Okay, cool.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to the Preem Pluto. That sounds like that must be somebody from the chat. He said maybe y'all boys will catch up to us Bucks one day. I think I know who that is. I think that might be to Michael. I'm not sure.
Man.
We'll see. It might be to Michael. It's all good. Hopefully we can, man. I'm happy for the Bucks as well. I know Javen and them are definitely having a great season. Me and Trey, not so much. But you know what? Me and you are definitely having a better season than Jay and his Falcons. 28-3, all of these comebacks.
Just talk about it.
Man. Let's talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about these comebacks that these Falcons have been going on. I don't know. So for you guys listening in, we have a group chat. We all talking everything. There was a man in this group chat before this season that has put a bet on the table. And so I'm a Bengals fan. Trey's a Jaguars fan. My boys are Michael and Dwight. They're Buccaneers fans. My cousin is a Bengals fan. Another one of our boys, Brian, he's a Cowboys fan, right? This man, JC right here, this dude right here, said that the Atlanta Falcons, he put a bet in there against someone else in there, that the Atlanta Falcons will have a better record than everyone in the chat's team. And they're 0-3 right now. They're doing the worst right now. They're doing the worst right now. So I'm gonna need all of y'all to say a prayer for my man Jay right now, and hope that these Atlanta Falcons can learn not to blow a lead and that they actually win a game this season. So with that being said, Trey, I appreciate you for coming on, man. We definitely got to do this more. We definitely got to hear from you on the Jacksonville side. Was there something else that you wanted to say before you get out of here?
Oh, no, I was just saying, as far as the Falcons go, I hope they go 0-16.
All right, bro. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. This has been New Stripe City, a podcast for diehard Bengals fans. Trey, let them know where they can find you at on Twitter, bro.
Yeah, you can always find me on Twitter, King_Henry_3. I'll retweet stuff about Jaguars. I tweet stuff about Jaguars. I might go too, so you might find some humor too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's where you can find me.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that, Trey. So people have been asking me what jersey I have on. I do not have a jersey on, bro. This is a Bengals jacket that I believe that I got from Homage. It's got the tiger sleeves on the side. It might look like it's a jersey, but it is really a jacket. So I have been seeing that in the comments. If you do want one, I think you can check one out at Homage. But thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Trey, I've been meaning to do this for years, bro. So I'm glad that you were able to give us some of your time. Like I said, this is New Stripe City. And you can catch us and make sure that you like and subscribe and comment in the comment section. Make sure you join the Flick Chat. Make sure you definitely join the Xbox giveaway that we're giving away here for the Series S. So as usual, I'll leave you guys with a who day, all day, every day, and especially on Sunday.